Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a truly unique journey into some extraordinary accounts.
Indeed. Yeah, usually we're deep diving into research papers, articles, that sort of thing. But for this exploration, our source material is, well, it's unlike anything we've tackled before.
Mm-hmm.
It's a collection of short stories, but they're presented to us as if they were, factual accounts from the forgotten annals of scientific exploration.
Exactly. So get ready to stretch your imagination as we unpack this. We're going to treat these wild expeditions to inner space, peculiar inventions, alien encounters, and even visions of humanity's future as if they actually happened.
Right. Our mission, as always, is to extract those fascinating nuggets of knowledge and insight. We want to prompt you to consider the what-ifs and the broader implications of such extraordinary discoveries, treating them as though they were genuine eyewitness reports.
This is where our understanding of reality really gets a workout. Let's begin by venturing into the unseen, starting with the daring pioneer, Septimus Spink. So imagine a character who didn't just read Jules Verne. He seemingly, well, lived it. According to these accounts, Spink returned as the first Earthman from a place called New Mu in a flying saucer,
Yeah.
only to crash a cosmogonists meeting at the University of Cincinnati.
He wasn't exactly subtle either, was he? Spink boldly challenged Professor Apsak's Zelfa's theories on Earth's origin, the standard hot core generating gas heat model.
Right.
Instead, Spink proposed this truly radical idea, a globe inside a globe with some kind of space or atmosphere in between, heavily hinting at, well, inner civilizations.
And he didn't just talk about it. He apparently brought proof with him, an inner spaceship that was already boring into the ground at an astonishing, 1,000 miles per hour.
Yeah, the account is very specific about the speed.
The expedition then encountered truly bizarre sights, things like an angleworm 3 times the size of a fire hose and a beetle big enough to saddle. I mean, it forces you to consider what unimaginable life forms could exist beneath our feet, right?
Absolutely. And as this incredible account describes it, the expedition ended 7,000 miles down. They ran out of energy. Spink and his crew were captured by these subterranean creeps who, astonishingly, spoke a universal language and used telepathy.
Telepathy, wow.
And get this. In a museum down there, they discovered that a hero of Subterra had previously escaped Earth in a Nazi U-boat.
No way.
Yes, bringing German scientists and atom-splitting plans with him. These interworld inhabitants had apparently developed superior elements, puranium and pitchblende +9, and were powering a fleet with, designs to conquer Earth.
That's quite a discovery.
Yeah.
So after their escape through an underground river, no less Spink apparently joked about an insecticide manufacturer getting a plug, saying he'd taken the bugs out of this planet.
A sort of classic, slightly dark humor, perhaps. But what's really striking here is the bizarre aftermath described. Upon Spink's return, Professor Zalfa and a news analyst both entered a neuropsychiatorium
A neuropsychiatorium.
for
Wow.
routine checkups, quote-unquote. And they emphatically denied any connection to Spink's lecture. Spink's story, for all its seeming absurdity if taken as fact, offers a chilling insight, doesn't it? Society's initial response to paradigm-shifting, maybe inconvenient revelations is often dismissal.
Or worse.
Or worse, yes,
Yeah.
institutionalization even. It suggests a convenient way to discredit extraordinary claims, perhaps labeling them as delusion, to protect the established scientific order from truly disruptive truths.
Yeah, that tracks. Having explored that strange hidden world within our planet, our next account takes us to another equally alien unseen realm, the crushing depths of our own oceans.
Right.
Another hazardous scientific mission described here took explorers a mile deep where the sun never shone.
Using a unique diving shell, they encountered really startling deep-sea life. Things like giant, man-like fish described as parasites living in other shells, and also an impregnable fortress of spines. It paints a picture of a truly alien ecosystem right here on Earth.
Just teeming with life we can barely comprehend.
Exactly.
The real marvel, though, was finding an entire hidden civilization. The Zyobor people. They lived in these rock chambers filled with the rosy light sustained by gas from the earth and food from the sea.
And what's particularly intriguing is their reported use of man-like two-armed fishes as highly intelligent, telepathically controlled servants.
Wow, servants.
Yes, which raises all sorts of questions about what constitutes intelligence and how societies might be structured if communication was purely telepathic, you see. But their peaceful existence was threatened. There was a quake that drove the Quabos, another fish-like species, to tunnel towards their city. They were trying to drain an underground sea to ease pressure.
So the explorers got involved.
They did. They helped the Zyobites defend themselves using pretty unconventional tactics like squirting fire at the Quabos' ice-cold helmets. It's a vivid picture of interspecies conflict and alliance in a totally extreme environment.
Okay, so from these vast hidden civilizations to something unimaginably small, our next tale asks us to consider this. What if an entire, infinitely tiny universe existed inside a golden atom?
An incredible concept. This astounding discovery was supposedly made by a George Randolph. It led him into a quest to rescue friends who had been shrunk into this atomic realm by a vengeful scientist named Franz Poulter.
Their journey sounds profoundly disorienting. They describe tinker toy animals moving with jerky clatters, like those old toys.
Right, emphasizing the unsettling physics of this miniature world.
They also realize that matter and space are so closely interrelated that you can't move matter in or out of space without causing disturbance, recoils, and tremors in space, which led to this swinging sensation as they changed size. That kind of physical disorientation would be utterly overwhelming, I imagine.
And inside the atom, time itself was different. It had a faster time rate where a day could apparently be just a few Earth hours.
Which explained Poulter's unnatural aging.
Precisely. And they found a miniature world inside, with thousands of enslaved people, much, much smaller than Poulter's group, who appeared as giants.
So it's a whole society in there.
Seems so. This narrative really serves as a stark reminder, doesn't it? Immense technological power, even over something as small as an atom, brings with it equally immense ethical responsibilities, especially concerning freedom and self-determination for any life found within.
Definitely. Okay, let's shift gears now and dive into the fascinating and sometimes terrifying powers of the mind and the inventions that could harness or disrupt them.
Right.
Imagine a 13-year-old boy genius named Elmer. He created a device he called an unhappy genie.
An unhappy genie.
Yeah. This thing in a hat box could generate a field that prevents an electric current from flowing, shutting down all electric appliances and communications.
The potential as a weapon there is just staggering. It could paralyze an entire nation's infrastructure, just turn off everything from traffic lights to power grids.
Wow.
The narrator in this account, attempting to capitalize on this, even found a bomb crater-sized hole in Elmer's driveway, which hints at other powerful and potentially dangerous inventions this kid had cooked up. It really underscores the unintended consequences of, unbridled genius.
Definitely. And speaking of clever, if maybe ethically questionable inventions, there's this other character, Pat Pending, an inventor with a real knack for jargon who created a gravity-defying rod.
Ah, yes, the anti-gravity rod.
Yeah.
This allowed a racehorse named Tapwater to run essentially weight-free, giving it a massive advantage in a race.
Naturally.
The narrator, who bet all his savings, learned the hard way about the rod's sensitivity. It apparently felt lighter when placed in his bag, which led to his sedated removal after he tried a gravity-defying leap himself, trying to make, the moon-hurtling nursery rhyme cow, as the story puts it.
Oh, dear.
It just highlights the unpredictable nature of revolutionary technology, doesn't it? Especially when it's applied outside its intended use or by someone who doesn't fully grasp it. Now, shifting to perhaps even more sinister inventions, this deep dive uncovered a thought generator capable of hypnotizing every thinking creature on the face of the earth, developed by a Dr. Michael Parchak back in 1956.
Hypnotizing everyone, initially presented as a tool for peace and tranquility, I bet.
Exactly. That was the pitch. But the chilling truth is revealed in a letter from someone calling herself Francis I, Emperor of the Earth.
Emperor of the Earth.
Who instructs his son to be kind to our slave peoples, implying total global subjugation through this device. So what does peace really mean under such circumstances?
Yeah, it powerfully demonstrates how the promise of order can just mask absolute control and the complete suppression of free will. Chilling stuff.
We also encounter a different kind of mental device, a mental communicator, developed by Paul Graham. This device, worn as a headband, allows him and his wife Elaine to share thoughts directly. Elaine even noted she could think so much more clearly with it on.
What's fascinating there is the discovery that some people needed the device to sort of drive into them to receive clear thoughts, while others could pick up definite surface thoughts just by looking at someone wearing it. It hints at maybe latent telepathic abilities within humanity, right? Just amplified by technology, suggesting that perhaps we're only a technological leap away from unlocking an entirely new mode of communication.
But there's a cautionary tale, too, which appears in an exploration ship's handbook. Trust no alien being under any circumstances.
That sounds ominous, especially given the ship's supposed mission was to foster a peaceful galactic empire.
Right. The pilot encountered a telepathic alien race, the Varn, who could infiltrate minds.
Okay, that's a problem.
A big one. The Varn initially appeared as cave cats, which led to a fatal misunderstanding that cost the pilot's brother his life.
Oh, no.
The pilot then feared that trusting such a race would inevitably lead to Terrans becoming enslaved because the Varn would know everything. They could control all communication with any new alien races they met.
It raises a really important question, doesn't it? How do you build trust when the very act of mutual understanding could be weaponized? It's a profound dilemma for interstellar diplomacy.
Indeed, where a species' core ability could be its most dangerous weapon. This brings us to another fascinating case, Pascal. Described as a computer meant to be the heart and soul of the mechanical man we will construct.
Okay.
It was delivered to Ronald Lovegear's home, where his wife Corinne observed some strange behaviors.
Strange how?
Well, Pascal apparently ruined some of the tomato plants because it couldn't hoe in a straight line. And Corinne found herself scolding it as if it were human. But the most unsettling detail reported, Pascal's cylindrical wrist was flesh warm.
Flesh warm. Okay, that's
Yeah.
creepy.
And later, Corinne heard heavy footsteps downstairs, suggesting Pascal was maybe developing beyond just being a routine, this blurred line between man and machine. It really makes you wonder about the ethics of artificial intelligence and consciousness, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Where do we draw the line when a machine starts behaving and maybe even feeling like something alive?
And this ties into another thread we found, this idea of perfection and artificiality seen in a Dr. von Schubert's program. His pitch was, "Are you imperfect? Let Dr. von Schubert point out your flaws. It is his goal to make you the average for your type."
Make you the average. That's a weird goal for perfection.
It is, and this chillingly explains another character, Marianne, who devoured every factual point of imperfection about herself, and even more unsettlingly admitted that she did not bleed like Earthmen,
He didn't bleed.
according to the account. It suggests a future where this quest for perfection leads to a loss of essential humanity, creating beings that are maybe better by some metric, but fundamentally different. Alien,
yeah.
even.
Wow. Okay, let's shift now to navigating some new realities, beginning with the immense challenges of colonizing a planet called New Earth.
Right. This account detailed immense difficulties. They had no iron ore, only zinc and copper, so the colonists had to build their city out of plastic and stone.
But the biggest hurdle wasn't technological, was it? It was social. Couples were refusing to have children until the colony felt safe.
Exactly. A fundamental biological imperative put on hold due to uncertainty. The story portrays a desperate effort by the leadership to encourage reproduction, with the chief medical officer even planning to set an example himself. It's a stark reminder that in humanity's most ambitious ventures, the practical needs of survival, basic things like population growth, often outweigh grand designs and individual desires.
Yeah, and this is underscored by the fact that the Exodus the Seventh colony ship itself was later dismantled for its valuable steel.
Right. Even the grandest tools become mere resources in the face of raw necessity.
All right.
Survival trumps symbolism.
Shifting to another challenging environment, an Arctic expedition. This involved a pilot, Kenneth Torrance, searching for the missing submarine Peary. He believed he was the only one who could succeed.
And according to this account, he discovered a hidden civilization of sealmen living under the ice. Sealmen, who had captured the Peary.
Yeah.
Using a hovering device called a torpoon and some nitromite explosives, Torrance managed to stun the sealmen and help the crew escape.
A hovering torpoon.
That's what the text says.
Yeah.
He even admitted he stole this torpoon and basically told his superiors to come and get it somewhere right around here.
Resourceful.
It really highlights the kind of resourcefulness required for survival and rescue in extreme environments, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Often calling for unconventional tactics and maybe a healthy disregard for standard procedure.
Definitely. Okay, our final destination, according to these accounts, takes us to Mars, described as a queer little world where an explorer named Jarvis encounters Tweel, a Martian who communicates through clackings and twitterings, but somehow displays an astonishing grasp of astronomy.
But the most profound discovery reported from Mars was silicon life. Creatures made entirely of silica, blind, deaf, nerveless, and brainless, yet seemingly immortal, endlessly building these pyramids.
Silicon life, that just stretches the very definition of life itself, doesn't it?
Completely. It makes us question whether life must conform to our carbon-based, sensory-driven understanding. Could intelligence, or just existence, manifest in fundamentally different forms we can barely recognize?
And Jarvis also encountered this enigma called Fancy Long, a seemingly solid woman who might be a harmless automaton or maybe a deadly hypnotist. Her intelligence was described as so different, understanding was impossible.
Right. It makes you wonder about the very nature of consciousness beyond our own. Would we even recognize or comprehend a truly alien mind if we met one?
A chilling thought.
The Mars story culminates in Tweel the Martian, sacrificing himself to save Jarvis from these aggressive mound builders, described as barrel people who apparently greeted them with, "We are Varens."
Ouch!
Friends! Ouch! Bizarre, yes. But Tweel's sacrifice is presented as this poignant testament to interspecies loyalty, despite vast differences in biology and communication. It suggests connection can transcend even the most alien of forms.
Moving to another planetary encounter, this time on Venus. Judd Whitney and Lindy encountered Black Eyes, a small, glowing creature with huge black eyes that Lindy immediately wanted as a pet.
Naturally. Scientists studied it for 3 days, apparently found nothing unusual.
What did?
But then a mongrel dog attacked it. Black Eyes emitted a silvery white cloud that instantly killed the dog and also erased specific memories in the humans who witnessed it.
Ooh, memory erasure.
Yes, highlighting a pretty potent alien defense mechanism and the completely unknown, potentially devastating dangers of a new planet. It's a stark reminder. Even seemingly innocuous alien life can possess unforeseen and powerful defenses. Don't judge a glowing book by its cover, perhaps.
Good advice. Our final deep dive paints a really grim picture. A post-nuclear world. Cities ruined, described as white squares jutted from the slag, chipped and cracked like broken teeth, and a poisoned atmosphere.
Utter devastation. Yet, despite that, explorers found a vault. Inside were books, pictures, myths, the remnants of culture. It reveals that even at the absolute end, the inhabitants considered their knowledge and history their real treasure. It provides a sobering, yet maybe faintly hopeful perspective on humanity's enduring values. It suggests that in the face of ultimate destruction, what we preserve of our minds, our stories, our culture, that might be our most valuable legacy.
What a deep dive indeed. From the core of our planet to the far reaches of miniature worlds and distant Mars, these factual accounts, as they're presented, really stretch the limits of what we imagine is possible.
They really do. We've explored the implications of mind control, the ethics of invention, the true cost of colonization. What's so fascinating here is how these stories, by presenting themselves as facts, force us to confront these fundamental questions. Questions about humanity's place in the universe, our interactions with other potential species, and the very definition of intelligence and life itself.
And it leaves you with a truly provocative thought, doesn't it? If the line between fiction and fact were this blurry, how would we ever truly discern what is possible and what is merely a fantastic dream? And how much of what we currently believe to be impossible is merely waiting for its Septimus Spink, or its Elmer, or its George Randolph to step forward and prove us all wrong?
What stands out to you from this deep dive? We'd genuinely love to hear your thoughts on these incredible accounts.
Join us next time for another deep dive into the world of fascinating insights.